A solitary figure strides toward the waterside pavilion, a young artisan deeply dedicated to traditional mountain craftsmanship, meticulously inspects the complex wooden joints of the foundational frame to ensure absolute structural integrity. It is not modern machinery that shapes the timber, but his own calloused hands carving precise grooves with a simple handsaw while balancing on the beams. This painstaking preparation lays the essential groundwork for a magnificent structure that will eventually harmonize perfectly with the surrounding wild valley. Long bamboo poles are carried down the winding mountain path, swaying slightly with each steady step. Mr. Min shoulders the heavy raw materials, his gaze fixed on the task ahead as he navigates the rugged terrain. With unwavering focus, he secures these slender stalks into the cut wooden slots, ensuring each piece fits with absolute precision and stability. A little spotted dog watches quietly from below, its curious presence adding a touch of gentle life to the rigorous labor. What begins as scattered timber gradually transforms into a solid foundation, bridging the gap between raw nature and human ingenuity. In this remote valley, the rhythmic sound of saying echoes through the tranquil valley. Mr. Min's calloused hands guide the sharp blade through thick bamboo nodes, sending fine splinters into the air with every powerful stroke. A mischievous little black sheep suddenly leaps onto the framework, completely disrupting the focused labor of the young builder. With a patient smile, he gently relocates the playful animal to the ground before resuming his precise crosscuts. This quiet interruption reveals that true craftsmanship requires not only skill, but also deep serenity amidst the chaos of nature. Mr. Min moves to cut bamboo to the frame. He swiftly aligns uniform tubes across wooden beams, forming the pavilion floor with efficiency from the opposite bank. He hoists a assembled bamboo wall, securing it vertically with precision. Single poles are then interwoven to reinforce density, turning a skeletal frame into a shelter against the elements. Ascending to the highest beam, Mr. Min surveys his domain before tackling the most challenging roof section. Accepting bamboo poles from below, he spans them across the main ridge to form the initial canopy structure. But it is the chisel and hammer that become his primary tools as he carves deep mortises into the timber. Each driven nail echoes a commitment to structural integrity, ensuring the overhead shelter can withstand the mountain's unpredictable elements with steadfast resolve and quiet determination. Lightweight bundles of bamboo are ferried up to the elevated workspace starting from the eaves systematically covers the roof, carefully adjusting the final poles at the ridge intersection to complete the shape. A manual T-handled drill bores perfectly vertical holes through the bamboo edges, generating a steady shower of wood shavings with every rotation. Long-fashioned bamboo nails are then hammered deep into the sockets, locking the entire roofing system into an unyielding matrix. Slender bamboo strips are carefully whittled into sharp tapered pegs. Mr. Min holds several between his lips, keeping them ready for instant use during the assembly process. With intense focus, he delivers a final series of powerful blows, driving each wooden pin deep until it sits perfectly, flush with the surrounding surface. The back of his blade then sweeps across the joint, shaving away every tiny bird to create an immaculate, smooth finish. Rising to his feet, he steps firmly onto the newly completed roof section under his full weight. The structure remains absolutely rigid, proving its exceptional strength and stability. Navigating the bamboo apex, he inspects the seamless connections below. A roll of black waterproof membrane is spooled across the roof, transforming the natural bamboo hue into an impermeable barrier. Long poles press the starting edge firmly into place, preventing any shift during the process. This critical layer ensures the soil cover remains completely protected from moisture infiltration. The expansive plastic sheet is pushed horizontally across the roof, its edges wedged tightly into the eaves crevices to secure the initial positioning. Bundles of cut bamboo strips are then hauled up to create a protective grid over the membrane. Alternating horizontal and vertical slats are meticulously arranged, forming a striking geometric contrast against the dark background. This geometric lattice not only secures the waterproof layer against fierce mountain winds, but also provides a stable base for the upcoming earth and roof, ensuring long-term durability. A hand drill pierces precise holes at every intersection of the bamboo grid and the underlying beams. Tiny wooden pegs are driven into these sockets and tapped solid with a machete, effectively locking the entire structure in place. The final short strips are crossed and fixed at the eaves, completing the perimeter reinforcement with absolute precision. Wiping sweat from his brow, Mr. Min surveys the meticulously secured roof, his eyes reflecting the quiet triumph of a master builder who has successfully conquered the harsh elements. The iron spade bites deep into the hillside, its blade cleaving through the dense earth with a crisp, resonant sound. Mr. Min works with rhythmic precision, tossing shovelfuls of yellow soil into a rectangular bamboo sieve and his woven backpack. Bearing the heavy load, he climbs the wooden ladder steadily, ascending to the pavilion roof against a backdrop of wild jungle. There he tilts the basket, pouring the dark earth evenly over the black waterproof membrane where dust rises gently to mark the texture of his labor. Massive mounds of yellow dirt cascade onto the waterproof layer, demanding immediate and careful distribution using a woven bamboo lid as a makeshift rake. Mr. Min pushes the soil outward from the center with meticulous focus. He traverses the roof repeatedly, ensuring every inch of the black membrane is buried beneath a thick, even blanket of earth. Kneeling at the edges, he presses the soil firmly with his bare hands, sculpting a seamless transition into the surrounding landscape. The pavilion's roof now mirrors the earthy tones of the surrounding terraced fields. Mr. Min crosses the slippery stones of the stream, venturing deep into the dense jungle to harvest living vegetation on a steep slope near the cabin. He carefully cuts thick sods of grass, preserving their root systems and attached soil. These precious green parcels are sorted into bamboo baskets, destined to breathe new life into the barren earth and roof. Above him very soon, a heavily loaded basket of fresh sod is hauled back to the elevated garden. Mr. Min swiftly grabs handfuls of green grass, scattering them across the brown soil to initiate the greening process. Kneeling in the corner, he meticulously arranges the turf into tight interlocking blocks to ensure complete coverage. Remaining roots and dirt are carefully dumped into the crevices between the laid sections. This detailed work reveals a thriving green canopy that seamlessly camouflages the pavilion within the pristine wilderness, creating a scene of breathtaking beauty. Clear water is sprayed generously over the newly laid turf, quenching the thirsty soil and roots. Glistening droplets cling to tender green tips, revitalizing the transplanted grass under warm sunlight, leaving the refreshed roof behind. Mr. Min carries his basket through the emerging bamboo path, striding purposefully toward the open land across the stream. The heavy, long-handled host strikes the reserved slope with deliberate force. Mr. Min turns the deep, moist earth with rhythmic precision, shattering stubborn clouds into fine, workable tilts. He then uses the broad back of the tool to smooth the rough surface, carefully shaping a neat and orderly foundation for the future vegetable beds. As he rakes the soil into perfect parallel rows, the little spotted dog and the black sheep watch from nearby. Their quiet presence shares the tranquil, enduring rhythm of this simple mountain life. A bamboo basket filled with seed potatoes is carried back to the freshly tilled field. Mr. Min squats down and begins to carefully select the best tubers for planting. He uses his hands to dig small uniform holes in the soft, dark earth, preparing the beds for the upcoming growth. A handful of wood ash is then sprinkled into each pit, its pale gray color standing out against the soil. Next, a single potato seed is placed gently inside, moving across the expansive plot. He broadcasts more ash over the new planted rows, providing essential nutrients and protecting the crops from subterranean pests. Loose soil is gathered to bury the potatoes and ash, completing the sowing process. Brushing the dirt from his hands, Mr. Min inspects the neat, orderly rows of the newly planted vegetable garden. Stepping across the stream on carefully placed stones, he maintains perfect balance with his farming tools. The sunlight filters through the leaves, illuminating his path back to the base camp as the agricultural phase reaches a successful pause. Cold spring water from a bamboo pipe splashes onto a tired face, washing away hours of grime and sweat. Refreshed, the builder walks along a stone path toward his dwelling. Mr. Min enters the thatched roof cabin, stepping into a space radiating warmth and rustic charm. This humble abode, nestled perfectly in lush greenery, offers a serene retreat after relentless labor. Mr. Min peels the harvested potatoes with practiced ease. The clean tubers are placed into a black pot resting over a roaring wood fire. He checks their state carefully, then secures the heavy lid. The crackling flames provide heat, transforming raw harvest into a promising meal. Vigorous boiling turns the water into rolling froth, softening the potatoes inside. A chopstick pierces a tuber, confirming perfect tenderness. Lifting the lid releases a massive cloud of steam. The cooked tubers are transferred to a wooden mortar lined with banana leaves where Mr. Min raises a heavy pestle to begin the demanding task of mashing. Pauses to wipe sweat from his brow using a chopstick to check the dense texture of the mash, dissatisfied with the consistency. He kneads the warm potato mass by hand until it becomes smooth and elastic. He then shapes equal portions into uniform round cakes, arranging them neatly on fresh leaves. Mr. Min flips the potato cakes with practiced ease, ensuring each side achieves a perfect golden crisp. He carefully arranges the delicate discs on black plates, creating a striking visual contrast against the fresh and vibrant green banana leaves. Mr. Min sits by the window taking a large, satisfying bite of the crispy potato cake. His spotted dog trots over, waiting patiently at his feet for a share. He tears off a generous chunk and drops it to the floor, rewarding his loyal companion with this simple meal.